So hot. What's good, y'all? Where's the play button? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Give it a few minutes and let a couple notifications go out. Maybe. Hopefully this is charged. Probably not though. I'm gonna have to go get a charger. So I gotta read. Bulldog, you're gonna like this live. Bulldog's gonna like this live. What's up, Ghost Devil? What's up, Jayhawk? Bulldog? I've seen a couple other people in here. Yeah, I gotta go get a charger. I'll be right back. Alright, here I am. Dude, I took a shower when I got home just to knock some of the sweat off. I'm gonna take another one because I was gonna, this is funny, but I was gonna weed eat. What's up, little payday? What's up, dog? I was gonna weed eat when I got home. I was like, run the weed eater, use the electric weed eater, but I can't. No way. Got soap in my ear still. Got gray hair. Struggling. Hey, Ghost Devil, keep your head up, man. I know how that is. I lost all my grandparents, and it sucks. So, I was at work, and I've been thinking about this for a long time. Like a long time. And it's becoming more like it's standing out more and more and more to me. And what that is when I got sober, like when I made the decision that I was no longer going to be a scumbag, I was no longer going to use pills and alcohol. Like that was my crutch, pills and alcohol. I loved Xanax. I loved getting high. And I talked about this before. What's up, Justin? Yeah, a lot of LSD and mushrooms right now. Things are changing, but I want to kind of talk about that. I'm glad that, people are interested in this. This is an important topic to me. I thought about making a video about it, but I wanted to go live and kind of talk about it first and see if it's something you guys are interested in. But, so, have you listened to any of FJ Outlaw's newest album, Blackball? If you haven't, I invite you to listen to it differently this time. So, tonight I listened to it. Tonight I listened to Leroy, FJ, Burden, and Big Murph. And I noticed something, and it's kind of crazy. When I was drinking and drugging, and I was going into recovery, music was one of my triggers. Yeah, I would, man. I would really listen to Blackballed and listen to the words in the songs because it really stands out. I'm going to read some from Mama Tried. And Mama Tried didn't really make a lot of sense to me when I first heard it. Like, I wasn't listening to it in the right way, if that makes sense. Like, I caught a lot of things. I caught a lot of things in Burden's new album, and I caught a lot of things in FJ's new album. And I also listened to some Big Murph, and I noticed it in Big Murph's music. And what that is when I got sober, and I can't, people will say, well, you still smoke weed, and I'm not talking about weed. Weed is not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about, habitual alcohol abuse, uh, drug abuse, um, substance abuse, period. And I won't count weed. You know, there was a time in my life where I couldn't smoke weed, and it was good for me. I ain't gonna lie. It was good for me. It was good for my mental health. It was good for a lot of different things. Um, I realized how much time it wastes when you smoke weed. Like you always have times of slot. Like that's the biggest thing. Like with recovery from anything, you have to learn how to use your time wisely. Like dead time sucks. You can't have dead time. Once you have dead time and you have time to yourself and time to really think about things, it's not good. Well, it wasn't good for me. Music was a trigger. A lot of the music that I listened to in the clubs, in the strip clubs, the parties, the raves, and all these spots that I went to get high, those same songs triggered me to think about getting high. And I never had no problem with drinking moonshine. Like I drank moonshine a few times when I was going through my drinking and drugging, but it wasn't like living in a city. It wasn't something that everybody had. Most of the time we were at a party and some old timer had it in the fridge and passed some shots around. We ate some raspberries one time that were soaked in moonshine. So when I got into recovery, I couldn't listen to the same stuff I used to listen to. And that's really what opened me up to country rap, Southern hip hop. Because I was looking for the same sound, but I needed different lyrics. You know what I mean? I needed different lyrics. And I needed, and I kind of disagree with you, Justin, um, about the alcohol thing. I believe that, in my opinion, this is my opinion, alcohol created all my problems. Like it didn't cause me. So I had to learn something. There's two different types of addicts. Well, there's two different types of criminals. There's a criminal addict, which is somebody that is a criminal regardless if they're high or not. And then there's an addict criminal, meaning once drugs are introduced to that individual, they become a criminal. And that's what I was. Once I would get high and I would, you know, do my thing, I had criminal behavior. The people that I hung around with were all bad. Like they were all scheming for something. And that's what kind of caught my attention in FJ, one of FJ's songs. He talks about, like, I'm out here trying to win, but I'm around a bunch of people that are scheming on me. And it made me think about that. Like, even when you're drinking and drugging, you know, you're still trying to, like, that's what amazes me. Like, shout out to Burden, shout out to Leroy Biggs. The next album Leroy Biggs puts out, I don't know if this newest one will be a good example, the one that's about to drop in August, but I think that the one that follows that is really going to be interesting. A lot of these bigger artists, FJ's a big artist in the genre. I heard FJ talk about recently how he's done. He ain't smoking weed. He ain't drinking. He ain't doing none of that no more. And it kind of threw me back like, Florida, pot's legal. You hear him talking about he gets his flowers from Truly. He talks about it. And it kind of blew me away to hear FJ Outlaw don't smoke weed no more. I was like, yo, what an example he is. You know, a lot of kids and a lot of people that are in recovery listen to Southern hip hop. I see more people in recovery in these communities than I see anywhere else. I see a lot of recovery streams, and a lot of the fans from the genre will be in them. And I think that's dope. But with that being said, um, in recovery, there's no, it's not forgiving, man. It's not forgiving. Yes, prayers for new breed, man. Really, for real. Well, that's kind of what today was crazy. I woke up, I seen the news. Rest in peace, the new breed's wife. I don't know if you guys know this, but she passed away this morning due to complications from an asthma attack. That's crazy, you know. And you never know, man. One day you're here, and the next day you're gone. Like, so when you're here, you want to make the biggest impact you can make on somebody. And when you're drunk or high, and I'm just being real here, when you're drunk or high, you're not who you really are. You know what I mean? But I listened to Drowning from Burden. Drowning from Burden really, for me, was like his cry for help. Like all of self-inflicted, you could tell he was done. Like, and if you look around and you look at Leroy Biggs. You know, Leroy Biggs, he had to hit his rock bottom. And I hope and I pray that Leroy stays sober. He's 2 months sober right now. Shout out to Leroy Biggs. But I think this change within the genre is pretty amazing. I know a few months back, Big Murph gave up. I know it's been almost a year actually. I think Big Murph gave up all the partying, all the drinking, all the just. It's not cool. You know what I mean? It's not. But so back to the FJ album. So I didn't know, like FJ just dropped this album. Like FJ worked on this album. I don't know how long he's been working on it, but I listened to it a few times over tonight. And the song with Jamie Ray, I think, is the only song he references moonshine. I think that's the only song that he references drugs or alcohol. The other ones, he's talking about him as like a goodbye letter. You know what I mean? Yeah, I agree. Well, that's why I'm here, Justin. My point is this: is these people that are rapping about drugs are doing drugs, and I did drugs. I know what that life's like. That life is horrible. I hated that life. I know what it is. I've seen that life firsthand. I've lived that life. I've been in the shoes of like, I've done that shit. And it's not cool. It's not people that I would ever look up to. Like, it's fucked up. You know what I mean? And then I always had a little bit of a sour taste in my mouth for a few artists because of what I thought they were doing. Like, I didn't know, because obviously none of us know. I just looked at behaviors, I listened to songs, and I wasn't rocking with it. You know what I mean? I wasn't, the music was dope, but the message in the music, it wasn't my message. That's why I really clicked with Ryan's music. It was talked about living your life, living your best life, and pushing harder and going harder. Like, those songs, to me, that type of music means a lot to me. But then once I, because I'll always be an addict, but once I started pushing through recovery and understanding my illness and understanding what helps it, what doesn't help it, I was able to start listening to different stuff. And I was able to start listening to rap again, like real rap, like Boosie, because I love Boosie. I was a fan of Boosie, but even now I can't even throw that shit on. It ain't me. When I lived that lifestyle, I did. But I think it's dope that this genre is kind of cleaning up. Like, really, if you sit down and you look around over the past years, a lot of these artists that were in the genre were really partying, and young fame, that'll get you. Um, some of them were vocal about it and talked about it and explained what they were going through. Um, and others just were quiet about it and they took care of their business and they're living their best life. And both ways are it worked, right? But I really like the music that it's producing because like FJ's album, I'm telling you, man, you guys really got to listen to it. He some of the songs like Mama Tried, here, let me pull these lyrics up. I'm gonna read some of it and it'll blow you away what he talks about. And my mom, I really relate to it because my mom tried hard with me. She tried so much to convince me that the people I was hanging around with and things that I were doing were not, it's not what I wanted to do. Those were not my friends. Those were not my people. And she was a hater. You know what I mean? Mama was a hater. Mama just didn't understand. You don't get it. You don't understand. These are my boys. These are my people. You know what I mean? But in all reality, they were just my fellow losers. Like we were just there to get high. All right. Yeah, my mom beat that shit into my head and I still didn't care. Oh, this is pretty dope. It's a freaking they got a like a plaque you could buy for this. Mama cried because deep inside she's dying from the blues. She tried to tell him from the start that it was bad to use, dying in their heart because she knew that in the end she'd lose her son. Like he was talking about that he, hey, appreciate you, Vice behind the wall. He's talking about how like he really struggled with addiction and he didn't know it was addiction. He talks about how he was trying to feel better and he had bought everything he could buy and it wasn't making it any better. And that's reality, bro. And then like we think that we got it all figured out, and yo, drugs help very temporary. Hold on. Drugs help temporary. They're a band-aid. um, no, I haven't checked out. I gotta go really pay attention to some of the stuff from Outlaw Nation. um, I just sometimes I don't even really, I don't schedule nothing. I'm gonna be real. I write stuff down. I forget I wrote it down. I find it later on. I Man, whatever I'm feeling, I do it. You know what I'm saying? I don't, no script. There's really no script to this. I'll get an idea, or I'll get a song that I want to hear that everybody's suggesting or I've been waiting for, and I react to it. I do like your boy Dirty. I do like your boy Dirty. There's some stuff from Outlaw Nation that I've heard. Shout out to the Sticks. Sticks are part of Outlaw Nation now. That's what's up. Uh, I wonder why. I wonder why it won't give me all the lyrics. Hold on. It's giving me like a clip of it. It even calls it the addiction lyrics. Oh, I get it. I see. Okay. Okay, hold on. Is this the same song? This can't be the same song. Hold on. This can't be it. What is going on? I hate technology. Now it's taking me to Amazon. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. It says a while ago I met this guy named Jimmy. Jimmy was a homeless dude. No, this ain't the right song, bro. This ain't the right song. Man. It's asking me 1-800 Ask Gary. Okay, here we go. Now this is crazy. I'm not looking anymore. I'm not looking anymore. But anyway, go listen to FJ Outlaw. Go listen to Mama Tried. Go listen to Burden Self Inflicted. The music that they are putting out and the things that they're talking about is real life shit. Like we really, as people, we all go through addiction in some way, shape, or form. Coco's got a song called Die Young that I really, when I heard that song, I was like blown away that the emotion that was put in that song. Yeah, man, there's so many fire artists in the genre. There's so many people that are changing for the better, and we're witnessing it. You know what I mean? FJ Outlaw's got, what was it, 100 million streams? 100 million streams. He's an icon. You know what I'm saying? He's somebody that 100 million people look up to in some way, shape, or form. So to see him kind of mold himself into the person that he's always wanted to be is pretty dope. Burden is going through AA meetings. He's cleaning his life up. He's straightening things out. I can only imagine the type of music that Burden's going to put out when he's not dealing with an addiction. Like, yo. Yeah, Cease and Desist. That album was fire. Blackballed was fire. It just shows you that. And I think that some of the Cease and Desist was older stuff. But I know all this Blackballed, for the most part, I believe all this Blackballed stuff is pretty fresh. And then there's artists that are within the genre that's just what they do, man, and I accept it. You know, like Just in Time. I love Just in Time. I think what he's doing is pretty dope. Um, he's a drinker, man. It is what it is. It doesn't hinder the music, but I do believe that these kids looking up to, it's so hard, man, because alcohol is such a wide, it's everywhere. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. People drink at dinner, people drink at sporting events, people drink everywhere. So it's hard to kind of shelter people from the alcohol. But glorifying your drinking sucks. Like people that glorify getting drunk, it just rubs me the wrong way. Like it's not something you should be proud of. You shouldn't be proud that you could shotgun 12 beers in an hour. It's not an accomplishment. You're not gonna get any accolades on your. It's not cool. You know what I mean? But that's just my opinion. I don't know. I really like the direction that the genre is moving. I think seeing people be vocal about their recovery within the genre is dope. You don't see many, actually, you don't see it in mainstream. You don't see a lot of these big artists that have millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars and millions of supporters come out and be vocal about an addiction. They act like it doesn't exist, you know. And then you got other mainstream artists that will fake an addiction and say that they were addicted to something just for the attention because they know that there's a lot of people that have gone through this and that, you know, AA and NA and these programs accept anybody with open arms. Like seriously, think about it. How many times how many times have you seen, you know, an A-list artist in mainstream come out and talk about their addiction? They'll come out and they'll talk about after their addiction. And you're right, but people do it all the time. Just recently, Chase. I know Chase Matthews. Let's put everything to the side about Ryan. Let's just say he was never part of Holler Boy Records. Let's say he was never involved with Holler Boy Records whatsoever. But the local people still knew him. You know what I mean? The local people still grew up with this kid, right? He gets big, he gets famous, he signs a record deal, and all of a sudden he was a drug addict and homeless. And all of his people that actually know him and have known him his whole life are like, yo, what are you talking about? No, you weren't. You lived a great life. You know what I mean? You didn't ever have to experience that. And it's cool. Like, that's cool. It's cool to say that you never done drugs. Like, I will honestly say that I wish that I could have that. I wish I could say I didn't go through the shit that I went through. Um, I mean, yes, it made me who I was, but bro, like, if there's anybody in here that's dealt with addiction, that has overcame addiction, that's one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. Like, real shit. Like, it's hard. It's very mentally draining. Now it just is second nature. Like, now I don't even, it doesn't cross my mind. But before, everything pointed to getting high. My brain just wanted to get high. It didn't matter. It didn't matter. Like, it was so crazy. And I can remember, look, I'll tell you this. I remember when I got some knee problems. I've had some knee surgeries. And I can remember telling my doctor and my mom that my knee hurt so bad. And I knew I was fucking lying. And at that moment, and I remember that moment like it was yesterday. I remember the doctor I was sitting in front of. I remember the shirt I was wearing. I literally remember that moment better than I can remember a lot of things. And at that moment is when I knew I was addicted to drugs. Yeah, I know Overtime Montana is. Overtime's pretty dope. Yeah, it's the whole tree. You're right, Kay. Like, you can't just stop a couple things here and there. And like, shout out. That's what I'm saying. Shout out to Burden. Burden came out of jail, relocated himself, put himself around sober people, and goes to meetings. Spends his time in meetings. Like, that is, in my opinion, that's really the only way. Like, rehabilitation to the max. You get around sober people, you start doing, you don't, and there's another part in, I can't remember what song FJ says in it, but he says, like, we can have all night long sitting up laughing and enjoying our life without drugs and alcohol. Like, there's people that spend all night in the bowling alley, shut the bowling alley down, then go home and hang out with their friends, and they don't drink, and an alcoholic will say, yeah, right. Nobody does that. Nobody has a wedding without drinking. Nobody has this, but it exists. I've gone to them. I've been a part of them. I've gone to the beach with a bunch of different people and nobody drank. Yeah, sorry, I'm not really reading the chat. I'll catch up on the chat a little bit in a minute, but I like this topic. I should have did a panel and let some of you guys come up. All right, we'll take a vote. Should I close this out, start up a StreamYard? That way I could drop a link. I'm not going to do it unless I know somebody's coming up. I'd have to get my headphones, I think, so. Maybe we'll do that tomorrow night. Maybe I'll do an open panel tomorrow night. I don't know. I think that, like, I want to go watch some reactions. Did you see the video Captain Kurt about the computer and the Wi-Fi? No, I didn't. I didn't see no video about a computer or Wi-Fi. Oh, you did? Yeah, I'll check it out. I got off heroin, methadone, and meth, and I consider myself sober, but I'm not. Hey man, Justin, I'll say it's one day at a time, bro. It's one day at a time. And shout out to you for getting off all that stuff, for real. I think about how much time I wasted. I think about how much money I wasted. I think about my long-term health. Like, you know, drugs nowadays are nothing like they've ever been. They've never been to the magnitude that they are right now. I don't think. You had the Black Beauties back in the day and the Quaaludes, but now you got real speed. You got meth, you got PCP, you got, dude, there's so much thing. I mean, I guess that's always been around, but I feel like now, and kids are so curious. Like, when these songs come out, and like my son, bro, I just want to punch him. I just want to strangle him sometimes. I like, bro, quit singing this stuff around your little sister. Like, I'll take his phone. I will take his phone. It's crazy what are in these songs. And like, I couldn't access this shit when I was little. When I was 15, 14 years old, it was a struggle to get some parental advisory. Like, we had to go through hoops to get it. Same thing with Playboys and Hustlers. We had to freaking really work to get our nudie magazines and our explicit music. These kids don't have to do that. You know what I'm saying? They just open their phone, go to local porn sites, go to YouTube. It's crazy. So I really respect these artists that don't use that. Jessie B talks about it in her music. She talks about the sex appeal. That she don't need to use the sex appeal. She don't need to target her audience based off of her looks. She wants her music to resonate with you. Like, and that's dope. I like what Ski Mask Cowboy does. Nobody knows what Ski Mask Cowboy looks like. He's a white dude, a tall white dude. That's all you know. He could look like a foot under that mask. And people judge people based on an image. That's what we were taught to do as humans, as little kids. Like, this is another thing that's crazy to me. Check this out. So when you're a little kid, you're taught to stay away from strangers. You're taught to look at somebody and know that that person is not a person that you're supposed to be around. You're taught that. All through school, your parents teach you, stay away from bad people, stay away from bad kids. If you see them making bad choices, don't associate with them. If you see them doing shit that you would get in trouble for, don't associate with them. And we're taught that. We're taught that. And then we turn 18, and the first thing we're told is you can't judge nobody. If you're at work, regardless of what they're doing, you're going to work with them. If you're it's crazy. Like, it really is crazy. So I resisted it. You know what I mean? I resisted judging people when I was younger. I said, no, I'm not judging nobody. I'm not judging anybody. I'm going to just hang around with everyone I encounter. And then I'll let them make my decisions. Well, see, what happens is you start associating with trash, you start to become trash, and then trash doesn't mind hanging out with trash. I'll look at somebody right away and go, yeah, even if you might not even be trash. You know what I'm saying? If I meet you and you're slamming beers and you're fucking, we're out front in the front yard and you're fucking wasted, have a good day. You know what I mean? I won't be going out of my way to hang out with somebody and that's judgmental. But I'm okay with that. You gotta judge people. You gotta have some sort of boundary in the line that I'm not gonna associate with that type of person. And being a drug addict taught me that. Being behind bars, being locked away, you have a lot of time to think. You have a lot of time to reflect on what you're doing with your life, and you got to judge a lot of people when you're locked up. And I started realizing, man, if I made better choices around the people I surround myself with, it would become easier to make better choices. You know, if you're hanging around a bunch of people that don't drink, they're going to pay attention to you when you're drinking. You're not going to get it over. You're not going to be able to hide the fact that you're taking shots of whiskey in the side of the car over here and then going up and hanging out with them. They're going to know based off your smell, based off your behavior, based off, I mean, they're going to know, right? So that's why addicts are afraid to hang around sober people. What'd you say? A little opinion? Let me go see what you said. Yeah, that's true. Life is not what you become, it's what you overcome. Like that's what so so man, it's crazy how life works. So that's why I think Ryan has has been so like I think looking looking at it and understanding people, understanding um, myself. I think that one of the reasons why he is so connected with the people is because we understand him as a person. You know what I mean? We understand Ryan Upchurch for Ryan Upchurch. And then the music is just a bonus. Crosshatch, shout out to you. We may just be online, but we're a whole ass fan. Yeah, definitely, Justin. You're welcome anytime, bro. And like, real shit, dude. Just stay sober today. You know what I mean? Work on being clean today. Be the soberest person you can today. Surround yourself with better people. You gotta look around who you're around. Who you're around is who you are. Show me, and that this is a true statement. Show me your 5 closest friends, and I'll tell you who you are. Like I don't even have to meet people sometimes. I just know who they associate with, and I know what to expect. I don't know if I'm supposed to set a bowl here, but it is what it is. It's my tobacco pipe. You don't know if you're gonna be here tomorrow. Like, like addiction teaches you so much shit. It really does. Like and I'm gonna say this, and it's probably gonna piss a few people off, but it is what it is. I think addicts that have overcome addiction have a better understanding of who they are than somebody that has never gone through that. But I've had the argument that an addict has a chemical imbalance, which we all know that. What's up, Cortex? An addict has a chemical imbalance, and I've talked to a great psychiatrist that explained this. He said the chemical imbalance that you have is what doesn't allow you to think rationally like a person that's not an addict. So what he's saying is people that aren't addicts, that don't become addicts, already do the self inventory. And I don't believe that. I believe that it's possible that some people um, don't become addicts because they've already got that understanding of life. But I think it was educated from a family member. Like if their parent was an addict or their aunt or uncle, I believe that they see it, they see the damage it can do, and they don't. My eyes see the flowers all bloom. I took that as X miles out, like an emoji with an X, yeah, like 2 minutes. Uh, I didn't. See, I guess in the mind of somebody that does an hallucinogenic or has that, then you can relate to that. Mine, I looked at it as like you plant a garden, you put the seeds in it, and you water it, and you work very diligently to grow the best plant or flower or whatever you can. And then time, whether it snows and you got to cover the plant or whatever troubles you go through to get that flower to bloom, that plant, whatever. So I took it as like his career. Like he's now just sitting back, enjoying the view, watching his flowers bloom out his window. Like cotton candy sky. Like I get it. Maybe there is an hallucinogenic ideology about it. Like maybe it stemmed from that. But I think the message in it isn't so much tripping as it is enjoying your life for a while. Like you're not doing it for today. You're not doing it for tomorrow. You're not doing it for the time after that. You're doing it for all of eternity. Like you're gonna have the greatest flower bed. You're gonna have the dopest flowers, and flowers, in my opinion, is his music or his albums. You know, and that's another part of what he does. It's he's great at doing. He connects these albums years down the road. Yeah, music does hit everybody differently. Uh, I mean, yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I don't know. I just think maybe the X my eyes see the flowers all bloom is just like I don't. I'm the same person. I'm dead to the situation. Like you're not gonna change me. I'm gonna make my music the way I want to make my music. I'm gonna sit back, dead to the world, and watch my flowers bloom. Like that's the way I kind of. But see that we all look at music. It's the interpretation of music, um, and that's a sober mindset, bro. I really think between what you thought it was about incorporating psilocybin into it and compared to what I was, it's just two different mindsets, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. It's hard work. That's what I'm saying. But X my eyes, like I'm dead to y'all, and I'm gonna sit back and watch my flowers bloom. It really is. Well, that's the cool thing about music. That's the cool thing about this Southern hip hop. That's the cool thing about real music because there's multiple ways you can interpret it. You can't interpret shooting the block up, riding with my Glock out, clock, clock, click, clock, 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 you can't. There ain't no fucking. That means one thing, idiots. That's just when you hear it, it means idiots. It's the first thing that it means. That's the only thing that it means when you hear it. That's the way I feel about it. When my son puts that shit on, I want to break things. Like it makes me mad. It makes me mad. And the fucked up thing is that type of music, bro, puts people in a weird mood. Like that whole XX Tenacion and the freaking Juice World guys, dude. Those people are like the Fetty Wops and they're fucking weird, bro. They're just not. I don't even know how to explain it. They're not normal. It's okay, I'm not normal, but that shit is like depressing. Like it makes you depressed. Like they make you sad. They make you. Oh, it's horrible. I've been trying to spell interpretation for ages, and you all spell. Yeah, bro, British. I struggle with spelling, bro. So I was too worried about getting stoned in school, and I didn't listen to the way things are pronounced and sounded out. British. You spell it however you want, bro. See, I struggle with spelling, so even when people spell words wrong, I still kind of break down what they were trying to spell, and I get it. See, I don't know, holy weird word. Yeah, I can't stand that shit. I get through the same stuff with my son. I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I don't know. I just think with the way like this is what blows my mind. So check this out. I just reacted to that Jason Aldean song. There was barely nobody that said anything negative about the song. There was like one or two comments, and I think they were just trolling. So if the entire community as a whole wants a better world, then what the fuck is happening? Like that doesn't make sense. How can you be standing up for your kids and doing this in the school. This is what blows my mind. And when I see these parents doing this, it fucking, ugh. How can you be dancing to these sexy reds and these Nicki Minaj wops and all this shit, and listening to what, if you have a daughter and you're doing that, you're letting your daughter dance around like that, yo, you're just asking for trouble. Burden made exactly the same damn song and video, and it just didn't get blown up. Bro, Burden, look, I've got a few DUIs, right? Burden went through it with his yo. You want to know something crazy? I'm gonna sound crazy when I say this, but like 2 nights ago, I fell asleep on the couch, and like right when I fell asleep, bro, I was at this big ass concert, like big concert, and there was all these artists, these young kids performing, like young cats. Some of them were rapping, some of them were singing. One dude was playing a piano, and they were all opening up for Burden. Bro, Burden was huge. I mean, fucking like shut down arenas. He was selling arenas out back to back nights, and they made a documentary about his story through his addiction, through his misfortunate events with the shotgun and his best friend. Like, it really went down. It was crazy, bro, and it was so real. It was such a realistic vision. Like Emily Arena, it was so it was crazy. Oh man, and I was fucking rocking out, dude, rocking out. I look at this as like they're just artists. You know what I'm saying? They're just people. Like, I can weld. I don't think Burden can weld. Maybe he can. I don't think Upchurch. Maybe Upchurch can weld. Maybe FJ can weld. Maybe these people can weld. But they ain't doing nothing. They're just singing. I mean, it's special. It's like poetry. You know what I mean? It's not. So they go through the same shit that I go through. They go through the same shit that you go through. You know what I mean? Like, in his self-inflicted album, he did all this shit to himself, and he talks about it. I don't want to be drinking no more. I don't want to be out in the clubs. I don't want to be fucking around with these hoes. I don't want to be chasing something that doesn't exist. Because at the end of the day, when you're an addict, you're just chasing a false. You're reaching for something that doesn't exist. I've never met a drug addict that retired and was happy. I've never met an alcoholic that didn't lose everything at one point. Never. Every alcohol, like everybody that, if you're affected by alcohol, look, my grandfather. I'm gonna share a personal experience with you. My grandfather never got in trouble for alcohol that I knew of. Never. He was in a small town. When he was drunk, the cops would drive him home behind him. They let him drive, and he would drive home. They would drive. They would meet at the bars at the end of the night and just drive people home. They didn't care. It wasn't a big deal. Never got in no trouble. When he was dying of cancer, and he had a feeding tube in him, and he couldn't drink alcohol no more, the withdrawals from not drinking were doing more bad, like harm to him, than the chemo was. That's crazy. So my mom and them, and now me, because I was an addict, because I like to get high and I like to run around and fucking cause problems, I was in a rehab center when my grandfather was dying. When my grandfather passed away, they had to call me in a rehab center and say, yo, your mom's on the way to get you. Your grandfather passed away. I wasn't even there. I wasn't able to be there. When I got to go home on the Sundays, I got to go see my grandfather pass away. And I did that to myself. Nobody else did that. Kurt did that. I chose to get high and make bad decisions and hang out with bad people because I thought that I was was doing the best thing I could do for myself. That's some real shit. And alcohol, that my grandfather drank whiskey and natural light every night after work. Every night. He never missed a day of work, never was late to work, but he always got drunk after work. And he dealt with more suffering from getting that feeding tube and not being able to drink than he did from the chemo. Like he had all types of stomach issues from no alcohol. Like his body literally fucking, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. That's why look, like jelly is an oddity. Jelly roll is like I still um it's crazy that he was able to talk about the stuff that he was talking about. Literally, like the shit he rapped about, doing cocaine, eating ecstasy. I mean, he literally talks about what I've never heard another mainstream artist talk about. Yeah, I've seen it firsthand. I just talked about it last night, Christy. I watched somebody die next to me in jail from alcohol withdrawal. Like, seize out and die. Alcoholic seizure, whatever it's called, and die right there. Man, I'm sorry to hear that, Christy. Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. In a community like this, bro, with all these people that have gone through addiction, all of us, it looks like majority of us, right? Alcohol, look, SD, I agree with you. I agree. I think alcohol should be illegal. I think prohibition makes a lot of sense. Dude, it would eliminate, but look, it's all about money because if you don't have alcohol, you don't have DUIs. You don't have DUIs, you don't have a court. Like that takes up a lot, you know. It's crazy. I think they leave a lot of that up to natural selection. Like, here you go. They're providing the poison for you to to allow you to ruin your life. Like they want you to ruin your life. Yeah, Little White, bro. Little White was. That's what I'm saying. Little White and Jelly Roll done work together. They done a whole album, and it talks about drug use all through it. They were, and it blows my mind, but it makes sense. Like I hate to say this, and no disrespect to Jelly and them, but it makes sense that mainstream would want that. They want that shit. They want that back catalog that talks about these drug uses because that's what's selling, bro. That's what's selling. I ain't gonna say no names, but I know certain content creators that will they'll what is that? Big ass fucking bullion or something with pinchers on it. But they'll get a glass and say they're drinking whiskey. They're not drinking whiskey. They're not drinking vodka. They're not drinking gin, whatever it is at the moment. People want to be around people that are drinking. It's I don't get it. Yeah, I have another pill that was one. Pop another pill. It's shit what we live in. It's dollar, man. It's the almighty dollar. Who who has the most money? Who can make the most money? Who can give out the most money? Who can Dude, I see so many people that get fake love for a dollar bill. I know a guy that goes around and gives out big old tips, and he's trending on all his music. His music's taken off, and I've never heard. I think I've heard one song from him. People do it all the time, bro. People like best believe he'll do these giveaways, and these people will just go crazy in the freaking comment section for $5, $10. It's like, I won't be that guy. I mean, I'll ask you guys to hit the like button. Sure, we got 21 people in here and 10 likes. And I'll ask for comments, but that's to help the algorithm. That's it. I don't want a super chat. I don't want a super sticker. It's dope when people buy hats because it's spreading Captain Kurt Reacts across the globe. You know what I mean? I can tell my kids, my grandkids, hey, check out this YouTube channel. This was me when I was your age. You know what I'm saying? I got hats all over the globe. Maybe one day when I'm long gone, they find my hat in a Goodwill. You know what I'm saying? Somebody else wore it and passed away and passed it down to so-and-so, and they threw it in a Goodwill, and 100 years from now, there's a Captain Kurt Reacts hat floating around. That would be dope. That's the shit Ryan would talk about in his music. He would talk about that future. You know, that you don't want just the fame, and you don't want it just right now. You want somebody to know you. You want your name to mean something. My father, he didn't do shit with his name. He destroyed his name. That fucking thing is huge, dude. I'm about to torch him. Hold on. Cha. Yeah, my dad did shit to his name. My dad's name wasn't nothing. My dad ruined his name. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, bro, is like, I know that this YouTube shit's forever. And I know that as long as YouTube's here, then my channel will be around. Hopefully, right? So, in theory, when I started doing YouTube, I'm like, yo, I think, well, before I even did it, I was like, I can do that. I could be a reactor. I could react like that. And Ryan, his music, listening to his music is what created that mindset. This is what I'm trying to say, is that not, and people will call it clout, and they'll call it riding his nuts, or whatever you want to call it, but it's not that. It's when you support somebody because of what they have helped you do, you're like eternally grateful. You know what I mean? I'm older than Ryan. I look up to Ryan. That's weird. But it's because the mindset that I was given. There is some things that he does that I don't agree with, but that's him as a person. I won't judge your opinions. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to judge your opinions. I will judge your decisions. Your decision making process. If you make bad choices that I don't agree with, then yeah. But if it's an opinion, have your opinion. You know what I'm saying? We all have different opinions. But I have opinions, but it don't mean that I would. Yeah, it's crazy. But so the knowledge and the mental strength that I was provided through music is what I support. I'm 55 this year. Shout out to you, D. Libby. But that's what I support. I'm going to try to pay attention to the chat a little bit. And you know, TrailerMade, when I first got around TrailerMade and a lot of those dudes, I was kind of leery because they were drinkers. But I realized quickly which ones were, you know, like Simple Man. I thought that dude just drank. It looks like maybe he does a little bit, but he also works his job, supports his family, and it's none of my business at that point. I see him as a drinker, but that doesn't take away the music. Same with a lot of artists nowadays. Look, Hard Target. I know Hard Target recently stopped drinking. I'm pretty sure. Pretty sure he stopped drinking, and that's dope. I feel like a lot of these artists would benefit from not drinking. It's the mileage, not the age. Hell, I'm 39 and I look up to a lot of people younger than me. No, bro, I don't think age really matters. Like, I've met cats that were younger than me that have been way more knowledgeable in certain areas. I think I think that I think it's good. I think it's good to look up to people. Not it doesn't. There's no age. Like hell, I look up to Little Payday. Little Payday's fucking 13. I think that his drive and his determination to do something is admirable. I think there's not kids his age that put in the work that he puts in, um, and that's dope. I look up to that. You know, I wish that I had that at that age. I mean, I did for baseball and shit, but obviously not to the extent that Payday does. Payday's making leaps. You know, he's killing it, and that's why I supported him from the jump. Like it doesn't. It's really all about support, man. Support your people. Support the ones that you represent. Like if you represent some shit, man, support it. Don't be afraid to support it, and know what it is. Know what you stand for. That's the biggest part. As I think a lot of people, they don't know what they stand for. They don't. They're just supporting something because they're sheep. They're literally supporting it because somebody else is supporting it. They're not doing it because they truly want to do it or they truly have a passion for it. Yeah, I mean, Jason, you can't use that 100%. I'm just using that as like a judgmental look on somebody else. That's called a functioning addict. I've done that, but I'm saying like I can't put judgment on somebody and all their ducks are in a row. Like I can't if you drink and your ducks are in a row, keep doing whatever you're doing. Well, if it's working for you, that don't work for me. You know what I mean? That doesn't work for me. They had a big thing that you speak for you. So I've always since then I've always tried to I should put a disclaimer in here. And I used to. Everything I'm saying is my opinion. I'm not saying it's anybody else's. I'm not gaining it from anybody else. It's my opinion. That's what I'm saying. And that's real. If you I trust my judgment more than I'll trust anybody else's. For real. I freaking like straight up I'm gonna bring this up, and I wasn't gonna talk about it much, but it's 3 something in the morning, so probably not many people will see this, and I don't care anyway. But that cat Jamie, yo, I told Kenny, I told a lot of people. I went live and talked about it. I got messages this morning from people talking about why didn't you warn me, motherfucker. I went live and talked about this. I built my green and white bandit in lockdown and finished in a blackened. What? Crosshatch said, hey, that's determination, dog. Oh, Cass, trust me. Trust me. I know way more about that situation than I want to know. I know, man, I don't know anything anymore because I just let that shit fucking, but I know it. You know what I'm saying? I know. And I knew, like, look, no offense to anybody that came from the true crime community, but I know what the true crime community holds. I know what happens over there. I understand that it attracts a different crowd. It attracts a crowd that yearns for, they want companionship. They want, like, people to constantly be tooting their horns. Like, literally, they just, it was so mind-blowing that these people just needed, they really needed that companionship. Not all of them, and I'm not saying about all of them. I'm not putting a blanket over everybody, but I know what happens over there. I spend a lot of time over there. I still do. I'm still in those chats, bro. I was listening to Queen Bee and Molly Go Lightly are suing one another, and freaking this chick cut off her boyfriend's head, and she's, dude, it's a lot, but it's interesting. You know what I mean? I still pay attention to all the old cases that have come and gone. I won't go. Sometimes I'll go in the chat. Sometimes I'll go in the chat. If you're in the true crime chat, sometimes you'll see me go in there. Sometimes I'll go fuck with the glare. I go talk shit. I still, like, at the end of the day, bro, I'm I'm human. You know what I mean? I'm human. I like to troll. Trolling's fun. If you're not a dick and you're not personal, like, I will take some jabs every now and then. There's a lady called MGL. It's Michelle Goes Live, and her toe, she was getting her toe was all broken and green, and she said it got cut off, or it's getting cut off. And I used to troll her. I'm like, yo, I'll cash app you $5 for your toe, $10 for your toe. Like, I'd bid on her toe. Nobody was even selling this toe, and I'd be in the chat talking to myself. And so many people have come to me and they're like, yo, Kurt, you and MGL's toe, that is great. And I'm like, oh, you seen that? Oh, we seen that. We were all in the chat laughing. I'm like, see, that's to me, that's the troll. That's the MGL ain't ever gonna lose no sleep over that. But people remember MGL or the whole Martha, you're glowing that I've been doing. Like, that's my troll to Martin. That dude, I never did a damn thing to that dude. And here he comes talking about me. Like, that's the type of trolling I like to do. But at the end of the day, bro, like, it's YouTube. I mean, as long as it doesn't leave this platform, I don't say whatever you want about me. Say whatever you need. I'm so invested in the Kylie case. Need help with going camping up in Highlands. Yo, you know, I think a lot of people still wonder about that. I know a lot of people still wonder about that, and you never know. You never know. Like, a lot of people will say, why are you, like, who knows? Who really knows? Yeah, Martha does seem lonely. Just every time you guys see him, go in there, just tell him he's glowing. Say, Martha, you're glowing. Dude, that motherfucker put his hat on because of that. Martha, you're glowing. What is he? I said it like 3 times, and next thing you know, he turns his camera off and then comes back on camera with his hat on. What's up, Triple T? I'm just chilling, man. Shout out to New Breed, man. I know, I couldn't imagine what he's going through. I really couldn't. But just know that we all got him in his thoughts. Me personally have him in my thoughts. I thought about it since you went live and said it this morning. Like, that blew me away, man. Blew me away. It actually made me go look and listen to some of his music. So, I mean, look at a positive of it. He connected to some more people on a personal level, because now, you know, it sucks, dude. It sucks. Listen, I will say this. I think 90% of the people that, like Triple T, myself, Kenny Reacts, Vic from the Riding, from Country Rap, I think we're all Shadow Man. I think every one of us. I know Simba TV. I don't get none of Simba TV's stuff. There's a lot of people that I think they definitely cut us off. They don't promote our shit to nobody. And it's crazy because I've seen content that's pushed that it really depends on what artist you're doing. that really, once you get an artist and you're doing an artist that's, I talked about this a little bit last night. Once you're doing an artist that the mainstream promotes, then they're going to promote your channel. When you're doing an artist that the mainstream doesn't want to succeed, that they're trying to block, you're going to be involved in the block. So what football team are you playing for? Like I talked about this in the Jason Aldean thing. We all got to pick a team. Ain't that crazy? Like at the end of the day, are you Republican? Are you a Democrat? Or are you an independent? Are you taking the COVID shot? Or are you not taking the COVID shot? Do you watch TV or do you not watch TV? Do you have a fire stick or do you not have a fire stick? Like everything is decision based. Pick a side, one or the other. And the people that go this way, we hate those people. And if you go that way, these people hate those people. Like, why? What the fuck does it matter? If I want to paint zebras in my house, all over my house, inside, outside, fucking cut the trees into squares, how does that affect anybody else? You know what I'm saying? Outside of bad decisions. Life should go back to basing people off of bad decisions. Like if you judge somebody off of their decision-making processes and not who they are, then the world will be a better place. Look, I try to be as real as I can at all times. I try to talk to people equally, regardless if I know you, if I don't know you. I treat everybody the same until you give me a reason not to. Outside of that, I don't know how to do anything else. When I was doing drugs, all bets are off. I was a fucking scumbag. And that's why it's so dope to see some of these artists like, and this is no hate on Leroy Biggs. Leroy Biggs is looked up to by a lot of younger kids, Payday being one of them. And to see Leroy hit a bottom like he hit and be vocal about it is awesome. Because Leroy is a very likable person, even obviously with drugs and alcohol. So him coming off of the drugs and alcohol and being a sober Leroy, it might suck for a little bit, but you're going to get a better person, 100% better person. You know what I'm saying? You're going to get a better person, you're going to get a better artist, you're going to get a better influencer, because he is an influencer. You know, these people, we hold these people high in the community, and it's dope to see them stop getting high. It's dope to see them changing their life for the better, growing up, and documenting it. That's the dope part of it. Do you see today there's a meeting about aliens? I appreciate that, Cass. I mean, look, this is the way I look at it. At the end of the day, there's a good chance that you're going to interact with somebody off the internet, right? And I, as a man, as a person, I don't ever want anybody to say, man, I met that dude in public and he's a fucking scumbag. Like, he's nowhere the person that he is on the internet. I'm the same dude. I'm going to talk about weird shit. I'm going to voice my opinion. I'm going to talk a lot. This is who I am. I mean, it took a long time, dude. It took a long time for me to be able to say I was comfortable with the person that I am today. It took a long time to be able to look at myself in anything and be okay with it. Alien distraction from the Hunter's court case. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they already know. I'm sure they've already known about aliens. Yo, that stuff about the I'm telling you, do dive down a wormhole, like for real. Type in asteroid hits Earth, aliens. Type in asteroids coming at Earth, aliens. Like go down that wormhole. It's crazy. Some of the stuff that they explain that's happened to the Earth over our life, even our lifetime, it can't be explained by anything else other than artificial intelligence. Like, check this out. We went from TVs, like, we went from televisions with metal antennas sticking out with aluminum foil and all types of shit, right? To self-driving Teslas, like that. There wasn't, there wasn't no. It was black and white TV. A couple of whatever 20 years later, or however many years, color TV, and then it was here we got the color TV with the bunny ears, and then before, I mean, dude, those self-driving Teslas. Let's be honest. In the 2010, probably they already had them designed and ready to go. Analog to digital switch, Y2K. I mean, everything changed so quickly. How could we, as humans, how could our brains evolve that fast into understanding something that that didn't even exist? Like, that's crazy to really think about. That's what I mean. That, look, if I've watched videos where doctors, heart doctors, say that they have no idea what they're doing up to about 40%. So they cut you open and they do what they're taught to do. That's what they do. And the rest of that is your body, right? Well, how come all of a sudden we got all these computers that are doing these laser incisions and taking parts out and moving this and taking, I mean, how does that even make sense? We had doctors that don't even understand what they're doing fully. They just know the medical practice on how to take the heart out and put the heart back, and the rest of it is what? So now these machines are doing this shit. No, look, there's so much to this AI. Like, I believe in the next couple years something something's gonna we're gonna change our mind, and hopefully it's not too late. There's some sort of backlash from it. There's no way that you create computers that are smart enough to drive down highways that have been built how many years ago? How long these roads existed? You know what I'm saying? How long is the and now you're gonna train something. There's there's no way, dude. There's no way. It's gonna learn. It's gonna adapt. It's gonna have an adaptive memory. It's gonna. Oh my gosh! It already does. Look at all the Teslas just freaking out and crashing. Idiocracy was a documentary of the future and not a movie. Yeah, I know. Idiocracy is a great movie. You know, a really weird person had me watch that like 5 years ago. And he described it by the case. He's like, it's like a yellow case, black letters. It's like caution tape on it. No, I liked the idea that we're like memorabilia, because I've believed, like I've thought, okay, I'm gonna go down this wormhole for a minute and hear me out, because this is out there. But we have zodiac signs, right? We have zodiac signs, and we had Greek goddesses. We had like the god of the seas, the god of this, the god of that, the god of that. Right? Well, what if you have 7, 12, however many you want to do. You want to do 12 zodiac signs, however many gods there were, whatever number. Pick a number. Pick, maybe Cass wants to talk about, there's zodiac, use the zodiac. You want to talk about gods, use the gods. But just think of those, the moon, right? The moon, the astrological sign, they're supposed to kind of work together, right? The ocean, the water, the moon, astrological signs, Greek gods, water, moon, sun, space, right? What if they're aliens? Like, what if legitimately those different philosophies, the Greek mythology or the astrological signs, what if those are extraterrestrial and their personalities are different species of human? Like, you could have like an evil, like, think of all the world leaders, right? And they're all kind of different, and they all have different end games. What if that's just transported? Like, what if we're just, what if they almost control their own herds? You know what I'm saying? Like, say I'm one leader up here, and I control 9 different world leaders. And then Bulldog's another leader in space, and he controls 9 different world leaders. And then those 9 different world leaders also have like runoff, like royal blood. The royal blood, you ever think of that? Like, there's a bloodline from each. Like, we're all brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you start putting all that together, we're all brothers and sisters. We're all from a similar bloodline, and we use DNA molecules to alter DNA in order to make another being. So if I'm taking X and Y and ramming them together, making XY or making an XX or whatever, however that concept is, what if that's all it took to create us? The moon, right? The moon is in our gravitational pull. It's what's helping propel the water, right? Remember we talked about asteroids, and last night I said how I believe that the asteroid hitting the Earth is what created the spin and created this everything that holds the gravitational pull. It created literally life. Well, what if the moon was just stuck in that pocket when that happened? The moon just has control of the water. The moon has got the dark side of the moon, and the moon is where they say we've been to, right? So what if the moon is actually where these fucking things are at? Because that's where these fucking things are at. They created the life on Earth, and that's like their hub. And I've said this before too. So, like, you know how you see these like stars. I don't believe there was like 7 billion stars that burned out. 7 billion, and they're gone. Where'd they go? They just burn out. Yeah, essentially we are. Yo, because technically, look, this is crazy, but if you could figure out who created us, then what can you gain? Like, let's just say, hypothetically speaking, let's say aliens are real, and aliens live somewhere, and they are what created us, and we got proof. We know this, right? Let's just say, if the world leaders could access these extraterrestrials and maybe bribe them they could return them probably with eternal life. Because if they're creating this, it's a program, essentially. I mean, it's far-fetched, maybe. Maybe it's just stone thoughts, but starts kind of making sense. Yeah, I don't know about all that. I don't think the moon was a satellite, but I do believe that there's a lot we'll never know. You know, it's crazy you say that, because look, check this out. Here's where I'll elaborate more on that theory. What if Mars was already an Earth? What if the reason that they're seeing life form, or they think they're seeing life forms, is because maybe Mars was Earth? It wasn't Earth, but it held very similar to what we are now. And the people that inhabited Mars fucking melted it down. They destroyed the economy. They destroyed the ecosystem. They destroyed the oceans. They destroyed the freaking. They destroyed everything, and that's what you get. And that aliens that I'm speaking about, that I say that could exist, they said, okay, well, we lose. Over to Earth. Now they inhabited Earth. And they're trying to create something. They're trying to make something that actually does good, or does something, right? And that's why I'm saying what Ryan said makes sense kind of to me, because it's like we're not memorabilia. We're a product. We're a design. Yeah, like I built this, I took care of this, I made this. Whap, you're gone. And that could very well be what happened in the dinosaur era. And I'm saying, what if these dinosaurs were here kicking it on this fucking land? They're just walking around doing their thing. And these big ass boulder hits them. These aliens come out, do their thing, fucking mount up on the moon, and here we are. You know what I mean? We don't know. I know that sounds crazy. That would be a dope movie though. That'd be a badass movie. Steven Spielberg's gonna steal that. Probably already did. There's probably already a movie like that. But for real, you never know, man. This world is so crazy, and the evolution of a human is moving so fast. I wish there was something to blame. Bro, look at the movie Avatar. Like, for real, think of the movie Avatar. Look what those people were flying on. Look what they were holding on to. Dinosaurs. Look what they were swimming in the water portion. Dinosaurs. Look how tall they were. Big, blue, tall, freaking self-healing, fighting, like killers. I've always thought that the movies hold more secrets than we'll ever know. I understand Crosshatch. I understand why Ryan doesn't feed off of that more. It's like, I can get away with doing this and saying this because, look, I'm not, nobody. Meaning, I don't have the following that he has. I would still say it if I had the following, though. But I understand why he doesn't. Um, I don't make music. I don't have a product other than the hats and the stickers I sell. But I don't have a product. I don't have a face. I don't have something to, there's a lot of people that, when Ryan gives his opinion, shame on Ryan. But anybody else can do it. Ryan can't. And that's fucking wrong. Like, that's the demoralization of a human. Like, when you hold somebody up so high that they can't even have an opinion vocally, that does something to you. I know it has to do something to you because it's done something to me just based off of the true crime shit I did. And that's real. I really I feel for Ryan, and I feel for any artist that can't say what they want to say in fear of um, not even backlash, just in fear of assholes and trolls and people that are looking for a fight. Bro, I'm smoking Baskin Robbins. It's called Baskin Robbins. And I got some Dankaroos. Dude, I'm a welder. So I sit in a helmet all the time, listening to shit. And then when I'm at home, um, I don't really watch TV. I watch videos on YouTube, on the TV, or on my phone, or I listen to shit, podcasts. Yo, take cross edge, take all of it away, take it, take it all away. Like, take away everything we know, right? And just think about being a normal ass person, bro, and not being able to do what you want. You know, one thing he says in one of his songs recently, he says, people hand my girl their phone like she's a fucking photographer. Like, I really think, like, when I hear that every time, it really, that lyric, that, like, yo, that would upset me. That would really piss me off. And why? Because, and you know, he'll smile and fucking take pictures and be that wholesome guy. And I don't know if I could do that. I don't know if I could. I mean, fuck, dude. Sometimes I'm just trying to do my thing, and a motherfucker just no. I don't know if I could do that. He said, "No, Justin. I watched a lot of things, but recently the only one I watched was a National Geographic about how the Gulf of Mexico was created. That's what that was. It was during the ocean Gulf of Mexico, and it talks about how, dude, it makes so much sense why the Gulf is so full of oil. You know what I mean? It's not. That's why, because an asteroid hit that mud and buried itself. I mean, it created oil, and eventually, we ain't gonna have no more. That's why they're creating battery powered cars, regardless of what it'll do to the environment. Because if they don't, there's going to be mass hysteria when we run out of oil. Have you ever seen what happens at a gas pump in a hurricane state when a hurricane's coming your way? Dude, the gas pumps dry up like they can't they can't compete with the amount of people that need gas, right? So what happens is they freaking they run out of gas, and then the gas lines are insane, and then when they run out, nobody moves because nobody's got any gas. So there's just fucking cars everywhere out of gas. People trying to drive out of state out of gas. All of I-4 was shut down because there was nothing but broke down cars, ran out of gas on the side of the road. There was more cars out of gas on the side of the road than there were moving during Irma. So they create battery powered cars before we run out of oil. Justin, I mean, at the end of the day, bro, I just believe that we only know what we as humans understand. So, meaning, I can tell you a whole bunch of shit, but if you don't understand what I'm saying and you have no idea what I said, like you're gonna only absorb what you understand. So when people tell stories of how things happen, everybody's going to understand it differently. Just like music, it's interpreted differently. So you might watch a video and take X, Y, and Z from it, and I might watch a video and take A, B, and C from it. So everybody's got an opinion. And to be honest with you, there's probably a lot more to what I said, and I think and I know that different opinions could also be inserted into that. That's why I think communication from humans back and forth is the most healthy form of media, of communication. Without communication, you have no fame. Like, if people don't talk like this, then all of that fame is gone. So that's where you get the Jason Aldean thing that just happened. They know that people don't communicate like they used to. So the way people communicate now is by mass hysteria. So if I can give attention to something, and I can give it negative or positive, it doesn't matter as long as it's a lot of attention. So it's kind of like if you go to a party and you see one big group of people and a bunch of small different groups. Everybody's attention is going to be drawn to the big group of people, right? Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, we created this. Everybody that's alive now and everybody that's been alive for the last 100 years, since technology is really ramped up, I mean, they can pinpoint different pockets of fans and consumers. Dude, now we've all filled out so many forms and they know so much about us that they're just shoving shit in our face. Or we're just walking around with billboards in our pockets. For everything. For curbs, for windows, for fucking attention for a song, for an attention for a music video, for attention for a new TV show, I mean anything, bro. Look, check this out. Do you remember? Here, I'm gonna blow your mind. Do you remember the people from the pet lovers that were gluing their hands to the floors in the basketball stadiums? Do you remember that? Do you remember when people would run across the field in big football games? Right? You remember that? So that was real life shit. People were really getting drunk and shit running across the football field. And people were really getting fucked up about these dogs getting hurt or this person doing this to the animals. So they're really gluing their hands on these basketball. And they seen the attention that people gave those people. You know, the guy in Fenway that catches a ball in fair territory over the fence, sticks his arm over the fence and ruins the World Series game. Those people get so much attention. They get death threats. They get care packages. They love these people or they hate these people, but they're on SportsCenter, they're on the front page of the paper, they're in the news, they're everywhere, right? They showed them everywhere. Smart people that market, if I was in marketing, I would go, ba-ding, something positive needs to happen. You need to do something positive, you know. And I hate to say that, but a smart person that understands what the fuck just went down, you know what I mean? Like, you control that in a positive way or a negative way. In marketing, that's what they're going to do. They're going to look at it as, oh shit, we can make a lot of money if you do some good things. But, you know what I'm saying? But now, take a bunch of different companies all doing it. So, you're doing a good thing for your artist, but doing a shitty thing for another artist. And it backfires, and the artist's bad thing actually propels the artist. That's what I believe happened to Jason Aldean. I think the shot came from another direction. So he's doing his thing, making his music video. And then next thing you know, these people that are trying to terrorize him, shut him down, that's their goal, actually propelled him and didn't cancel him. Business. It's a business thing. So over time, what happens is so many businesses are now blowing up. Everybody's got money. Money ain't shit to the world now.
everybody's balling. We got money flowing from every direction because marketing, you got all these different pockets of money. Essentially, you can have a YouTube channel, you can have a TikTok, you can have a business, you can have three businesses, but three TikToks, three YouTubes, three Instagrams, a Twitter. You can stream music on the side. I mean, there's so much stuff. You can make music. Nowadays, it don't take nothing to put a mute. I got a song on there, and it ain't even my song. JJ rapped it. It's just my. Anyway, it's investments, right? You flood the market with that many investments. That many people start getting all this money, and they're running out of ways to make it. What do? Cancel time. Canceling everybody. I'm canceling your shit because I want to be better than you. Look at what Mako tried to do. Look what they tried to do with FJ. They tried to shelf an artist, and an independent artist tried to shelf an artist to do better than an artist. Like that was a mainstream cut. That's a cut. They're trying to take the artist, to limit the artist's potential in order to capitalize from the artist still while making their career take off. Three off a crosshatch. You're right, you're I different. Another one. What's happening? 2 likes. I got 2 likes from crosshatch. That's a trip. But no, man, I believe that. Like, how can you not believe it? How can you look? How can you realistically? How can you look at talent? Any talent. Think of something you know that's very cool. That's not big. It doesn't matter how good you are at something. It matters how well you can sell yourself. That's what it is now. That has been around forever, but now it's what it is. Like before, talent, most of the time, talent could trump money. Most of the time. Like baseball, I seen it all the time. Kids, their parents had money, they paid a lot of money, and they stuck them in the outfield. They played all the time in the outfield, and they sucked, man. It's like, get these. I'd rather take the kid that catches 3 balls a game rather than this kid that don't catch any. Like, switch them out, coach. Come on. But because that kid's parent forked out money, guess what? The fucking kid played. So it's really about how well you can market yourself. Like you better be good on a camera nowadays. If you're not comfortable talking in front of people, you're not gonna be shit. You ain't playing high school, college. Like you better be able to go to the booster club and like really bring in some money for these schools. It's sad, dude. I can only imagine what these kids go through. And I watch baseball documentaries about what the major league guys go through, and fuck that. I'm glad I didn't make it. I would definitely. Yeah, I wouldn't. I won't get. That never gonna happen over here. But you boys gotta go to bed. I'm tired. I'm stoned. I gotta get out of here too. I gotta go to bed because I gotta get up, take my daughter to school. Listen to this. I gotta take my daughter to school. Then I gotta weed eat, and then I gotta go back to bed and go back to work. Sucks, man. Vicious cycle. But hey, shout out to whoever called my job because now I only have 4 days of work a week. You took a day off and I make more money. I get a day less of work and I make more money a week still. And I have the opportunity, if I want to work overtime. So, much love. He had a pain going down his arm last week. He said yesterday. Yeah, fuck that. Hey, Christy, I appreciate you. Man, if you guys, like for real, I know it's hard for me to communicate. I try to comment as much as I can on YouTube videos. You know, if you're ever going through something and you need to vent, fucking vent in my chat. I don't care. I'll try to read it, try to respond to it. If you need something, I'm on Instagram. If you can't be safe, be gangster British. That's dope. That's got to be on a t-shirt, dog. Yeah, for real. I'm serious. I try, man. If you go look, I challenge you to find another content creator that comments back as much as I do. I try. I try to actually read them and respond best I can. Sometimes they get a little, it's a lot, so I'm not typing books. British Bulldog, I'll be ripping up. Sorry, man. Oh, and another thing, for real, I'm serious when I say this. Go listen to this Burden album. Go listen to the FJ. Go listen to Big Murph's been putting out bangers lately, man. And he really, the rock side of Big Murph, I really enjoy that. Go listen to the lyrics. Even if you don't like the sound, go listen to the lyrics. Go listen to what they're actually saying in the music. You can't close off because you don't like look, I'll be real with you. Sometimes a song to me, I don't vibe with the beat, right? Because I like to listen to the beat. First I'll catch a beat. I like the beat. And then I'll start digging into the lyrics. But sometimes the beat just don't sound right. But I don't stop the song. I let the song run and I focus on the lyrics. And most of the time, I like the lyrics so much of the song, I almost don't even hear the beat no more. Like I do, but it ain't the same. I found all the country here surfing YouTube. Yeah, Heavier Rain's dope. He's got a lot of dope country. Like I think about that all the time. If Ryan said, I'm done rapping and I'm done making anything else other than country, dude, he would. I, he would crush it, absolutely kill it. I know it would never happen. I'm not saying that. I know that wouldn't happen. I'm saying I think about that. Like that just shows the commitment to what he stands on, and that he ain't taking that road, that mainstream road. All right. Much love, y'all. I appreciate you. I really do. Hope you have a great night, great day tomorrow. And your boy's out. Go check out FJ Burden. Go check out, man, go run up them country rap songs. Much love, y'all. Peace.